In this video, I'm going to show you how much progress can be made if you fix a level 1 rush base after 9 months of gameplay. What's going on, my friends from Clash of Clans, and welcome back for another video. Check out that base. Them walls, completely useless, but they sure do look good, right? The month of April 2025 was absolutely insane with the WWE event and the temporary troops that were super overpowered and those army camps that frustrated so many players. I know, man. The thing is that I liked them. What about you? Did you like them or did you hate it? Let us know down in the comments below. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our progress base and take a look at what's been done in the last month since the 8-month video. And we are exactly 2 months away from a full year of gameplay on this level 1 rush base. I mean, looking at everything, it doesn't look that bad until you get to the defenses and you realize that a bulk of them are still level 1 and the base cannot defend itself in Clan War Leagues. Speaking of Clan War Leagues, we actually have an attack that I need to do. And you're going to notice that even though we're buying the gold pass, things do take a little while to upgrade. You know, like it's not like it's a mega change just because you're spending $6 or $7 a month on a gold pass. You still have to wait it out for the upgrades. And as we get closer to maxing certain things, they take up to 2 weeks anyways. It's just one of those things with Clash of Clans. Nothing is instant other than upgrading walls, and hence why we have so many of them. So let's go ahead and start with our offensive buildings that we worked on. We did finish out that final army camp, which maxed out our army capacity to 340 housing space, which is the most that you can carry in the game as of today's date. We also upgraded the workshop to level 2, and my thought process here is that I need to unlock additional siege machines because even though we have the max level of clan castle, which allows us to, request 2 different siege machines from our clan mates, I'd like to have other options available that I can bring into battle, even though they are level 1 and it does require the use of a power potion. But you'll find that that's going to be the case when it comes to the laboratory anyways. So those 2 potions, the power potion and the hero potion, they play a mega role if you are a rush based player. They're so important, and you don't really realize how important they are until you mistakenly go into a war attack without boosting your troops and you're not able to do half the stuff that you can do with max troops. I've done it a few times, many times actually. We also upgraded the pet house to level 10, which allowed us to unlock the angry jelly. We'll talk about the pet house here in a moment. And then now that it's Clan War Leagues, we halted our hero upgrades and now we're focused on defensive upgrades for the next couple of days. So we put down all 4 of our expos, and they've actually gone up 2 levels since the last time you saw this village. They were level 5 last month. They're now currently level 7, going to level 8 each, and that's going to take 3 days and 10 hours, which isn't really that bad, but then they also have multiple levels to go. They go up to level 12 as a matter of fact. We also upgraded the Inferno Towers. They went from level 7 to level 9. One is currently level 10, and then we have one under construction. The downside here is that the final level takes 12 days to upgrade. So yeah, we're just gonna probably use one builder and try to get them maxed out, and we should have maxed out Inferno Towers after month 10. We should if I keep up with it. Now you're also gonna notice that the monolith is now fully maxed out. It went up 2 levels last month, and if you caught my live streams, you'll understand why this happened, because who recalls the Gold Rush event where everybody was trying to go after that championship belt, which we did unlock? The other problem that we ran into there was the fact that we had a metric ton of dark elixir. A good problem to have, but you also have to try to figure out how you're going to get rid of it without using a builder. And this is where the gold pass did come into play and the use of books of building. And yeah, we ended up upgrading the monolith from level 2 to level 4 just to get rid of dark elixir, and it worked out perfectly. And then we started dumping our dark elixir into other places like the Royal Champion. And then I also went a little off topic here on upgrading because I don't know, I wanted a new base for Town Hall 17, and in order to have a new base layout, I need to have the newest defense, which is the multi-gear tower. Now, I'm not necessarily sure if this was a good upgrade or not. I just felt like it was something I need to have. I don't know. So I ended up having to upgrade the archer tower, the geared up archer tower, from level 10 to level 21, which took 10 days to upgrade. And then we also needed to upgrade the geared up cannon from level 7 to level 21, which took about 8 days. And then we did the merge process to start constructing the brand new multi-gear tower, which will be done in 9 days and 16 hours. It's a grind. It's just one of those things that we have to deal with when it comes to waiting on lengthy upgrades in Clash of Clans as you get higher in the game. And then there's walls. So when it came to grinding the gold rush event, we were stealing a ton of gold and elixir, and we needed to get rid of it. I just kind of got addicted to upgrading walls. I wasn't necessarily needing to do it, but I was trying to unlock the championship belt, and I think we grinded out 260 million gold for that to contribute to my clan. And we ended up upgrading 54 level 15 walls to level 16, and then we just kept going from there. So I ended up upgrading 163 pieces of level 17 wall, and technically we're halfway on walls for Town Hall 16 level. Unfortunately, you know, they're not necessarily beneficial because you can go right through them with a root rider, but it does make the rush base look a little bit more intimidating. Inside of the hero hall. Now this is where things are starting to get a little interesting because you know, when you're rushed, you have weak, low-level heroes, and the upgrades go relatively fast up until a certain level. And we're starting to get to that point where the hero upgrades themselves are starting to slow way down because they're costing between 6, 7, or 8 day upgrades, you know? So the Barbarian King only went up 4 levels from level 61 to level 65, and the Archer Queen went up 5 levels from level 58 to level 63. Now the downside here is that the King still requires 8 months of upgrades without the use of magic items, and the Archer Queen requires 9 months. And so I'm starting to feel like the heroes themselves are the bane of a rush player's existence, because when you play through this game traditionally, you only have between 10 to 15 levels, depending on the Town Hall level that you're playing, that you need to upgrade in order to max out the heroes for that Town Hall. Like an example of this would be going from Town Hall 11 to Town Hall 12. You have level 50 heroes and you need to upgrade them to level 65, the King and the Queen themselves, and then you're done for a little while. And then later on, when you move on to Town Hall 13, it doesn't feel as grindy, even though it does suck at the time when you're upgrading them. But when you're playing as a rush-based player, it's obviously endless. The only perk to being rushed is that when you use a hero potion, you could have max heroes for that 1 hour and decimate anybody that you face off against. So the King and the Queen, I just don't know. It's going to take months. It's going to take months, and we're definitely not going to have this thing finished by the 1 year mark. However, the Grand Warden did go from level 67 to level 71, and now the upgrades are taking 8 days apiece. So we only have 4 more levels to go on the Grand Warden, and according to my notes here, it says we got 1 month worth of upgrades without the use of books. So we should be finished with him by the end of month 9 going into month 10. The Royal Champion, on the other hand, that's where I dumped the rest of the Dark Elixir during the Gold Rush event, and we jumped up 8 levels on the Royal Champion from level 37 to 45, and we only have like 1 more month to go because the champion goes to level 50. So in theory, check this out, the King and the Queen are technically Town Hall 12 level heroes. The Grand Warden, on the other hand, and the Champion are Town Hall 16 level heroes. So we're doing really well. We'll be maxed out on those final 2 heroes, which will kind of open up 2 builders to send back to defenses, and then we just might focus in on the King and the Queen, maybe the Minion Prince. I mean, he's just kind of fallen off. And then jumping to the pet house, we did upgrade the Mighty Yak from level 11 to its max of level 15. I should have probably knocked out Lassie or the Electro Owl, but then I don't really use either one of them at the moment, so it's not necessarily a priority. Although the Angry Jelly, I don't really think I'm going to use that very much either, but I did start upgrading it at level 2 and currently going to level 3. So the thing is that there's not enough heroes to, you know, really justify upgrading all of these. The only reason why you should upgrade your pets is in the event that something does kind of fall out of meta, or you find a strategy that works better with a certain pet. But then again, the pets that we did upgrade, like Spirit Fox, Phoenix, Diggy, Frosty, Unicorn, those are mainly the options that you see in most top tier strategies. I mean, obviously the Mighty Yak does fall into play in some strategies, but it's just nice having different options. So we're just upgrading, but we're not necessarily like really grinding them anymore. If we have a couple days where the pet house is idle, I don't really stress it. You know, it's not necessarily like a big deal, but I do try to keep it active as much as possible. And then inside of our blacksmith, let's take a look at what I was focused on last month, which was actually the Royal Champion. Because right now, for me, I'm not saying that everybody's doing this, because once I kind of see something that works, I tend to just stick to it. And the Royal Champion walk with the invisibility spell seems to be like the new hotness with the Electro boots. So my main focus last month was upgrading the abilities for the Royal Champion, and we upgraded the Electro boots from level 13 to level 20. I'm not really focused on trying to go any further because it's kind of pointless, but we might later on. It still requires a ton of ore, so it's not necessarily a big priority. Level 20 is good enough. We also upgraded the Rocket Spear because I wanted to play with some different ideas with the Rocket Spear, so we went from level 1 to level 9, and then I found myself preferring the Haste Vial, so I went back to it and stopped upgrading it. And then we also upgraded the Healing Tome for the Grand Warden 2 levels from level 9 to level 11. That's like the new focus. I'm going to try to get that one maxed out because we are currently using Root Riders. I did add 2 levels to the Minion Prince's abilities because whenever I use dragons, I tend to include the Minion Prince, and it would be nice to have higher level abilities there. And then we also did unlock the action figure during the event last month, but obviously it's not something that really warrants the use of ore at this time, so obviously that's going to stay level 1. And then we have the laboratory. All right, so the laboratory is it's been a mess, man. It's been an absolute mess because whenever we live stream, and something that I've noticed is that a lot of players out there that are more serious about Clash of Clans consume a metric ton of content, and they watch all these different creators, and they like get this idea in their head that you need to use different strategies every time you turn around. Like there has to be a new strategy here, and then we got to try out this new strategy and this new strategy, and it doesn't really translate to a rush base unless you have a bunch of power potions and a bunch of hero potions that you can use literally all the time. Because when you look at a laboratory and how much time it takes to max out the units, you know, the spells, the siege machines, it's unrealistic to bounce between strategies, and the goal is normally to pick a strategy, max out all the components of it, and then move on to the next strategy. It's just unrealistic to try to use 3 or 4 different strategies just because you want to use them, because the levels don't match up and the results will not be the same in an attack. So we did upgrade the Wall Breaker from level 10 to level 12, and we got 1 more level to go there. We're probably going to use a Book of Fighting to finish that off, but I upgraded that because I was using Sneaky Goblins a lot during the Gold Rush event back during the WWE event. We also started upgrading the Wizard. Now the Wizard went up 2 levels. It's went from level 4 to level 6. It's currently upgrading to level 7. It's still kind of cheap, so we're using the Goblin Worker or the Goblin Researcher to do that. And the focus there is because I've been using the Siege Barracks and attacks, and the P.E.K.K.A. and the wizards that generate from that thing are based on the levels that you have inside of your laboratory. So it kind of sucks when you have level 4 wizards coming out of a siege machine and it's really not beneficial or doing much of anything. They're kind of just like hoping that they can take down buildings, but it takes them literally 2 minutes to do so. We also upgraded the Electro Dragon. I don't know why I upgraded that. I got pressured into it. That's what happened. I was in a live stream and somebody told me to upgrade the Electro Dragon. I don't use Electro Dragons. This was a complete waste of elixir and I shouldn't have done it, but I did anyways. But I digress. Let's move on. So then we also upgraded the Yeti. So during a live stream the other day, we used a Book of Fighting to upgrade the Yeti from level 6 to level 7, and that's mainly because there was an image on the calendar for this month that there's an event that's going to release the Super Yeti, and obviously we all want to play with the new latest and greatest hotness. That's one of the reasons why most people rush in the first place, so I wanted to have the max level of Yeti to do that. And then we also upgraded the recall spell 1 level, and I still need to focus in on upgrading that because that's also an essential part of my army that I'm using right now. We upgraded the Druid. We upgraded the Druid 2 levels, and this really kind of ties into the Dark Elixir problem that we had during the event last month. Upgraded the Druid from level 1 to level 3. We also upgraded the Valkyrie to level 11, the Hog Rider to level 3. Why? I don't know. Just trying to get rid of Dark Elixir in any place I could. We upgraded the Headhunter to level 2. We need to max that one out because that's a super important troop. And we're also currently upgrading the Apprentice Warden. So Dark Elixir troops, it's really kind of based on what I'm currently using, and right now this is the army that I'm using. You know, the Super Barbarians, the Root Riders, the Valkyries, and you'll see that multiple troops here are level 1, level 2, the spells level 2, so this requires the use of power potions when we go into war, unless I'm facing off against another rush base, which I was yesterday, and I was able to 3-star perfectly fine without the use of a potion. The only time I use potions is if I'm facing off against a fully max Town Hall 17. So let's go ahead and jump into the Clash Ninja website. This is linked down in the description below. It's a great resource for monitoring your village, and I've been using it for going on 3 years now to kind of keep track of all my bases, and it's a great tool to keep you on point for what you're trying to accomplish on your villages. When it comes to the completion status, I took a look at last month's video, and we actually jumped up 5% on our structure from 29% to 34%. Supercharge, I highly doubt we'll ever get within range to supercharge anything, so I'm really not worried about it. The 2% is coming from the elixir pumps that I supercharged, and I don't really see much of a difference. I mean, it's nice passive income, but it's not so substantial to justify doing the gold mines as well. Laboratory went up 6% from 30% to 36%. The heroes went up 8%, so all of the upgrading on the Royal Champion really came into play there. Equipment only went up 1%. That's, you know, the bane of everybody's existence. It is literally the choke point in the game is hero equipment. I really don't like it, but it is what it is. Pets increased 5% from 49 to 54%, and the walls jumped up 13% from 50% to 63.4. Jumping into our timeline and how much time is required until the village is fully maxed out. With 6 builders, we actually saw a decrease of 1 month and 26 days. That's because of the gold pass perks and the magic items associated with that pass. So we're down to 19 months, 1 day, and 20 hours remaining. The laboratory decreased 3 months and 1 day, but it still has 35 months worth of upgrade time. So literally 3 years on the laboratory alone. So technically I should be buying, you know, more books or more hammers and applying it to the laboratory. We just haven't done so. The pet house went down 1 month and 2 days. Still have 8 months of pet upgrades. Like, that's realistic or anything. And then the heroes, we decreased 5 months, but we still have a total of 31 months on the heroes before they are ever maxed. So that's obviously the king and the queen. It's going to take absolutely forever. But overall, not bad progress for the month of April. Let us know down in the comments below what's going on with your villages.